Imagine walking through a city, late at night, with no fear, no dangerous neighborhoods, no constant worry about crime, no need to constantly look over your shoulder. It may sound impossible, but in Iceland, it's part of everyday life. This small Nordic island is consistently ranked among the safest countries on Earth. Its crime rate is remarkably low. Violent crime is extremely rare, and many police officers don't even carry firearms during routine patrols. But how is that possible? How can a modern country, with access to guns, open borders, and growing tourism, remain one of the safest places in the world? The answer isn't just strict laws. It begins with something much deeper. Trust. Iceland is home to fewer than 400,000 people. Most communities are small. People know their neighbors. Children often grow up surrounded by the same families, teachers, and friends. That strong sense of community creates accountability. When people trust one another, crime becomes far less common. But trust alone doesn't explain everything. Iceland has also spent decades investing in education, healthcare, mental health services, and social support, rather than simply reacting to crime. The country focuses on preventing it before it happens. Young people have access to sports, music, arts, and community programs that keep them engaged from an early age. Families receive strong government support. Poverty rates remain relatively low, and social inequality is far smaller than in many other developed countries. All of these factors reduce the conditions that often lead to crime elsewhere. For Iceland, safety isn't created by fear. It's created by opportunity, and that philosophy has shaped one of the safest societies in the modern world. One of the biggest reasons Iceland remains so safe isn't its prisons, it's its police. Unlike many countries, Iceland's police officers usually patrol without carrying firearms. Instead, they rely on communication, de-escalation, and strong relationships with the communities they serve. Because violent crime is so rare, police spend much of their time helping citizens, responding to traffic incidents, and supporting local communities rather than confronting dangerous criminals. But what happens when someone does commit a crime? Iceland's justice system focuses less on punishment and more on rehabilitation. Many prisons are small, modern, and designed to prepare inmates for life after release. Prisoners have access to education, job training, mental health support, and counseling. The goal isn't simply to lock people away. It's to reduce the chances they'll commit another crime. And it works. Iceland has one of the lowest incarceration rates among developed countries. Repeat offenders are far less common than in many other nations. Another surprising fact: many Icelanders legally own firearms. Hunting is popular, especially in rural areas, yet gun violence remains extremely rare. Why? Because firearm ownership is tightly regulated. Applicants must complete safety training, pass background checks, and meet strict licensing requirements. Responsible ownership, combined with a culture of trust, has prevented widespread gun violence. Technology also plays a role. Crime statistics are carefully monitored. Emergency services respond quickly, and because communities are relatively small, suspicious activity is often noticed immediately. For Iceland, public safety isn't built around fear. It's built around cooperation, responsibility, and mutual respect. But perhaps the country's greatest advantage is something that cannot be created overnight: a culture where people genuinely trust one another. Trust isn't just a cultural value in Iceland. It's part of everyday life. Parents often allow their children to walk to school alone. Babies have famously been left sleeping in strollers outside cafes, while parents remain inside. To many visitors, it seems unbelievable, but for Icelanders, it's completely normal. That level of trust has been built over generations. Transparency also plays an important role. Iceland consistently ranks among the least corrupt countries in the world. Government institutions are highly accountable. Public officials face strong oversight, and citizens generally have confidence in their legal system. When people trust their institutions, they are far more likely to follow the law voluntarily. Education is another key factor. Schools place strong emphasis on equality, respect, critical thinking, and cooperation. Children grow up learning how to resolve conflicts peacefully, rather than through violence. The country also has one of the highest literacy and education levels in the world. Mental health support is widely available. Healthcare is universal, and social services help families before problems become crises. Instead of waiting until crime occurs, Iceland invests heavily in preventing the social conditions that often lead to it. Economic stability also matters. Although no country is perfect, Iceland experiences relatively low levels of extreme poverty. Employment remains high, income inequality is lower than in many developed nations, and most people have access to housing, education, and healthcare. When people feel supported by society, they are generally less likely to turn to crime. Of course, Iceland isn't crime-free. The country still experiences theft, fraud, cybercrime, and occasional acts of violence. But compared with most nations, serious violent crime remains exceptionally rare. The result is a society where safety isn't maintained through heavy policing alone, but through education, opportunity, equality, and an extraordinary level of mutual trust. And that combination has made Iceland one of the safest places on Earth. Today, Iceland continues to rank among the safest countries in the world. Its success wasn't built by chance. It was built through decades of investment in people, communities, education, and trust. Rather than relying only on harsher punishments, Iceland focused on preventing crime before it begins. Children grow up with strong family support. Young people have access to sports, arts, and education. Healthcare and mental health services are widely available. Communities remain closely connected. These foundations create a society where crime has far fewer opportunities to grow. The country's police force reflects that philosophy. Respect, communication, and cooperation come before force. While no nation can eliminate crime completely, Iceland has shown that safety is possible without creating a climate of fear. Of course, challenges still exist: cybercrime, financial fraud, drug-related offenses, and the pressures of increasing tourism continue to test the country's institutions. As Iceland becomes more connected to the world, it must constantly adapt to new forms of crime. Yet despite these challenges, the country remains one of the most peaceful places on Earth. Its greatest lesson is simple: the safest societies are not always those with the most prisons or the strictest laws. They are often the ones where people trust each other, feel supported, and believe they have a future worth protecting. From its breathtaking landscapes to its remarkable sense of community, Iceland proves that public safety begins long before a crime is ever committed. It begins with opportunity, equality, and trust. Thanks for watching Hermosa Explained. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more videos exploring the world's safest countries, extraordinary places, mega projects, global businesses, and luxury destinations. See you in the next episode.